5 signs of emotional intelligence after narcissistic abuse. Let's go. Hey friends, Tamie M Joyce here, empowerment life coach, creator of the Freedom class and the Ascension class. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please take a second to say hello and introduce yourself in the comments section below. And of course, if you're back, welcome back. Thanks for showing up and for tuning in. Either way, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. So let's talk about 5 signs that you're actually operating from a place of emotional intelligence after narcissistic abuse. Now, to begin with, the definition of emotional intelligence is having the capacity to first be aware of, control, and express your emotions and handle interpersonal relationships both judiciously and empathically. In other words, being able to operate from a place of self-awareness, temperance, decorum, empathy, and good judgment. Now, needless to say, people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism don't qualify as emotionally intelligent people, not least of which because of the handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathically piece. Needless to say, that's not them. But never mind them. What about you? How are you doing on that score? Are you aware of your emotions? In touch with what you're feeling? How about having control over where, when, and how you express your feelings and to whom? Can you discern the difference between safe and unsafe others and then respect and take care of yourself accordingly? Or are you perpetually getting yourself into all kinds of trouble because you expect unsafe people to behave like decent, kind, and loving humans, people they've consistently shown you they're not? Where are you lying to yourself? Furthermore, can you express yourself respectfully, moderately, and appropriately when you're highly triggered? Are you judicious in your interpersonal relationships? Again, meaning that you exercise good judgment and common sense where relating with others is concerned. How about in your relationship with yourself? Are you fair, kind, loving? Do you give yourself the benefit of the doubt? Do you have self-compassion? Do you treat yourself well? Exercise extreme self-care? If not, why not? These are all signs of an emotionally intelligent person. In addition to being highly empathic, emotionally intelligent people have self-awareness. They're able to be kind to themselves. They're able to accept themselves fully while also being eager to learn and grow. They're grateful for what they have while they simultaneously embrace change and strive towards personal growth and development in a balanced, productive, and healthy way. They're also able to express themselves clearly and assertively and are receptive to constructive feedback from people they respect. Again, none of this describes people with a destructive narcissist personality pattern. So we know we're not talking about the classic overt or covert narcissist when we're having this conversation, right? And I don't mean that to sound condescending. I don't mean to sound condescending when I say that at all. It really is just a statement of fact. It is what it is. Try as they may to pretend otherwise, narcissistic people are the direct polar opposite of emotional intelligence. And the only reason I mention that is it's helpful to know what we're looking for when we're trying to discern who's who and what's what. Now, with all of that said, let's get into the nitty-gritty in terms of 5 signs of emotional intelligence after narcissistic abuse. And please don't worry if you're not there yet. My intent with today's video is to give you something clear and concrete to strive toward in your healing and recovery journey, so you can actually experience lasting positive change. So here goes. Number 1, emotionally intelligent people tell themselves the truth. They don't lie to themselves. Neither do they lie to, for, or about others. So when you're dealing with someone who does any of those things, lying to themselves or lying to, for, or about others, you're clearly not dealing with an emotionally safe, healthy, or intelligent person. So be clear about that. And if you're still lying to yourself, or anyone else for that matter, you've got some work to do, love. If you ever want to reach the ranks of a high-functioning, emotionally well and intelligent person, it's time now. Number 2, emotionally intelligent people are committed to their own personal well-being. In other words, their personal comfort and well-being matter. a lot. They understand that the relationship they have with themselves is foundational to the relationships they have with others, and therefore they nurture the relationship they have with themselves daily. They've dealt with any codependency issues they have and no longer sacrifice and martyr themselves or their well-being in the hopes of winning the good favor of others. Instead of seeking outside approval and validation, they have the ability to remain aligned with their personal integrity, sense of dignity, and sense of self-respect. Like, for example, if exposing yourself to your toxic family, or your in-laws for that matter, means that you have to pretend to be someone you're not and put on a phony mask in order to survive time with them, in other words, live a lie, there is going to be a limit to the degree to which you are willing to do that. First of all, an emotionally intelligent and healthy person is not going to be willing to pay the price of exposure. And that price often being the 3-day hangover you suffer in order to recover from spending time with empathy-impaired emotional manipulators, dodging the toxic gossip, ignoring the big pink elephant in the corner, while tippy-toeing around all the other landmines in the room. This is what it is within a seriously dysfunctional family system. Emotionally intelligent people don't do that to themselves. Not anymore, they don't. They're not concerned with winning the favor and approval of people who couldn't give a flying bleep about them, their comfort, or their well-being. And they certainly aren't concerned with the opinions of people they know full well are looking for reasons to diminish, demean, devalue, and discredit them, while simultaneously smearing them to smithereens behind their back, in the very same way they do to whoever else happens to not be in the room in the moment. Now, neither does an emotionally intelligent person stay in a job where they are being undervalued, mistreated, disrespected, and or exploited. You don't do that to yourself. Not anymore, you don't. Emotionally intelligent people have high standards and unapologetically take care of themselves by putting some distance between themselves and toxic, destructive, or otherwise harmful people, no matter who they are. What others might think about it, well, those opinions don't even register on the radar of an emotionally intelligent human being. They are far more concerned with their own comfort and well-being and living in alignment with their personal integrity while maintaining a genuine sense of dignity, self-worth, and self-respect. And it's for reasons like this that they enjoy the benefits of such a high level of self-esteem and self-worth. They aren't perpetually exposing themselves to people who feel entitled to hurt them and then blame them for the hurt they cause. They aren't out there selling their soul to the devil, selling their soul and sacrificing themselves in the hopes of winning the love, validation, acceptance, and approval of people who clearly do not have those things to give. Now, number 3 on my list of signs of emotional intelligence after narcissistic abuse is your ability to remain non-reactive when a narcissist is baiting you. Now, I'm not saying this is easy, but it can be done. And the truth is, the more healing and recovery you have under your belt, the easier it will be for you to remain detached and unaffected by the narcissist antics, at least until you're able to remove yourself from the dynamic entirely. Now again, I'm not saying this is always easy to do. Lord knows the narcissist is likely to turn up the volume on their nonsense in an attempt to bait you into an intense emotional reaction, to use you as a source of narcissistic supply. And if you want to learn more about how to stop being a source of supply when the narcissist is baiting you, you can watch this video here. Number 4, in addition to being able to remain non-reactive when the narcissist is deliberately provoking you, your ability to establish and maintain no contact with harmful and destructive people, again, no matter who they are, is a sure sign of your emotional intelligence. Now, I totally get that there are exceptions. Some of you are co-parenting with a narcissistic ex, and until your children are of age, it isn't really possible for you to maintain full-blown no contact. Others of you feel responsible for your aging narcissistic parents, and that's understandable. I'm not advocating that we completely abandon these people. There are plenty of ways to make sure that you are safe, or rather they are safe and well cared for, without perpetually exposing yourself to a barrage of manipulation and abuse. So, exceptions aside, what I'm saying is this. In so much as you are able, drawing a line in the sand and closing the door to relationships with people who feel entitled to hurt you and or those you love is an emotionally intelligent decision, painful and difficult as it may be to come to that decision. It's an act of extreme self-love and self-care, and it will be the difference maker between you being able to heal for real or not. So where possible, consider the radical act of self-love that going no contact can be if you want to grow in the area of emotional intelligence. Next, number 5, emotionally intelligent people trust themselves. No matter the mistakes they've made in the past, they know it gets to be a new day. And because they're committed to their personal growth and development journey, they accept that they are a work in progress, a perfectly imperfect human being. As long as they can say, hand on heart, that they are doing their level best, they know they are trustworthy. They can trust themselves. And emotionally intelligent people get that self-trust is about making the decision in advance. They decide that I am a trustworthy person and I can trust myself to make the right decisions moving forward. And then they embody an attitude of either I'll win or I'll learn, but either way I'll profit, right? And because they choose to trust themselves, they've literally made the decision in advance and on repeat, they show up in life embodying a more solid, grounded, and trustworthy version of themselves. And therefore, quite naturally and organically, walk out the experience of self-trust. And people who trust themselves are powerful. They calibrate at a higher frequency. They embody a level of confidence and certainty that changes the game for them. And it all begins with a firm decision and then walking that out in their daily lives, one moment, one day, and one decision at a time. And if embodying that level of self-trust, certainty, and confidence sounds appealing to you, but you know you're not there yet, then you're probably an excellent candidate for one of my coaching programs. There's a link in the description below this video where you can apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. In addition, there's also a brand new free gift section in the description below this video, so be sure to avail yourself of that as well. Now, with all of that said, let's go a little deeper into the concept of emotional intelligence. Make no mistake, developing emotional intelligence is key to your healing and recovery. It's about understanding, managing, and harnessing your emotions so you can become a healthier, happier you. After narcissistic abuse, developing your emotional intelligence is a powerful step forward in the direction of a happier, healthier, more peaceful, and productive life. The life you actually came to the planet to live. So the first sign that you're developing emotional intelligence is your level of self-awareness blossoms. You're becoming attuned to your emotions. You recognize your triggers and understand the root of your feelings. And as you do your healing and recovery work, you become more and more able to rest in your authenticity and embrace all the good that you carry. Now, the second sign that you're developing emotional intelligence is what I call boundary brilliance. You're learning to set healthy limits and boundaries with others, especially the toxic and difficult people in your life. Saying no or no thank you becomes an act of self-love and self-care, and you get really good at taking care of yourself in this way. You know that your vital life force energy is precious, and you're able now to protect it fiercely. The third sign is your empathy flourishes, beginning with yourself. You're operating from your heart with more love, healthy love, empathy, and compassion. Compassion for yourself as well as for others becomes second nature, but never to your own detriment. As an emotionally intelligent person, you allow yourself to love some people from a distance because A, you know they aren't going to change, and B, you value yourself enough to take excellent care of yourself in this way. You no longer put your hand up and volunteer for your own abuse. Finally, that high empathy nature of yours is directed at yourself in a very healthy, loving, and dignified way. Now, the fourth sign that you're developing emotional intelligence is your emotional resilience grows. You bounce back from setbacks with newfound strength, courage, and confidence. Life's storms and challenges don't take you out, and they certainly don't break you. Instead, they grow you and make you more resilient. And the fifth sign that you're developing emotional intelligence, your authenticity shines. You're embracing your true self unapologetically. The old codependent people-pleasing mask falls away, revealing the radiant essence that is uniquely you. Your authenticity is your greatest strength, your superpower. And now you're able to lead with that authenticity unapologetically. It's time now. And on that note, I'm going to call it a wrap. But before I go, I have a special announcement to make. You might be interested to know that the Ascension class is now open for enrollment, and I am beyond excited to bring you this next level of growth, expansion, and evolution that is this transformational coaching program. If you want to go deep with me into the work of reinventing yourself after narcissistic abuse, then this is for you. Be sure to click on the link in the description below this video to apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team.